أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وكذلك يجتبيك ربك ويعلمك من تأويل الأحاديث ويتم نعمته عليك وعلى آل يعقوب كما أتمها على أبويك من قبل إبراهيم وإسحاق إن ربك عليم حكيم لقد كان في يوسف وإخوته آيات للسائلين. We're continuing inshallah the Tafseer of Surah Yousuf, and today we're going to be starting from ayah number 6. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the last lesson was describing how Yaqub alayhi salam, the father of Yusuf alayhi salam, after Yusuf told him that he had this dream of 11 stars and the sun and the moon making sajda to him, he told him, do not relay this dream to your brothers. Otherwise, they're going to get jealous and they're going to harm you. So that same conversation, it carries on today, where Yaqub is still talking to Yusuf alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَكَذَلِكَ يَجْتَبِيكَ رَبُّكَ وَيُعَلِّمُكَ مِنْ تَأْوِيلِ الْأَحَادِيثِ. Yaqub alayhi salam is telling Yusuf that similarly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will choose you. This word yajtabika, it means to choose. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He chooses somebody, He is regarded as mujtaba, and this is actually one of the names of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Mujtaba, Mustafa, and so on, amongst many alqab, many names that he is named with. So mujtaba, the chosen one. So the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will choose Yusuf alayhi salam in the future means that he will also be destined towards prophethood, and he will get this status of being a prophet, just like Yaqub alayhi salam. So Yaqub is telling him that this will happen to you. And the next thing Yaqub alayhi salam is telling Yusuf alayhi salam, وَيُعَلِّمُكَ مِنْ تَأْوِيلِ الْأَحَادِيثِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to teach you the interpretation of ahadith. Ahadith is basically the plural of hadith. Hadith means event, something that takes place. And the plural is ahadith, and in the context in which it's been mentioned, it's referring to the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will enable him to interpret dreams. So وَكَذَلِكَ يُعَلِّمُكَ وَيُعَلِّمُكَ مِنْ تَأْوِيلِ الْحَدِيثِ means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will enable you to interpret the events that will take place. وَيُتِمُّ نِعْمَتَهُ عَلَيْكَ, and He will complete His blessing upon you. What does this mean? Again, Yaqub is telling Yusuf alayhi salam that Allah will complete His blessing upon you. So the fact is that at the end of the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a huge position in this world. So this position in the world, it's a temporary thing, but on top of that position, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also bestowed upon him prophethood. So the completion of Allah's blessing is like a crown upon the blessings that he already had. So the completion of the blessing is then the prophethood on top of the blessings that Allah gave him in this world. So that's one opinion. The second opinion is وَيُتِمُّ نِعْمَتَهُ عَلَيْكَ means that the blessing that Allah gives you, it will never be removed from you. It will be completed upon you means that once Allah has given you this status and this honor and this dignity and respect in people's eyes, this honor will never be removed. And so much so that we are remembering him today. We are sending salutations upon him. We are making dua for him. We are remembering his story and everything that took place surrounding him. So the fact is that Allah's blessing will not be removed, meaning the honor that you are being given, it will not be removed. It is being completed upon you. And the third opinion is that Allah will give you both success in this world and the hereafter. So this is what the completion of the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is upon Yusuf alayhi salam. وَيُتِمُّ نِعْمَتَهُ عَلَيْكَ وَعَلَىٰ آلِ يَعْقُوبَ, and also upon the family of Yaqub. So the question is, who's the family of Yaqub? None other than the brothers of Yusuf alayhi salam, right? Because Yaqub is the father. He's telling Yousuf, he's advising him, and the family of Yaqub then is basically the brothers of Yusuf alayhi salam, the other sons of Yaqub and his wife or wives. So this blessing will be completed also upon the family of Yaqub alayhi salam. And remember last week I mentioned that what the brothers of Yusuf alayhi salam did, it should not be taken to mean that they had an evil streak in them or they wanted to actually kill Yusuf alayhi salam. It was something that crossed their mind, but ultimately they resorted to something that was the lesser of all the evils that they could think of, putting him inside a well with the intention that somebody will take him out and rescue him and he will be taken away from us, and so we don't have to see him again. So they were not bad in the sense that they are made out to be, that they were so evil. Rather, jealousy, sibling rivalry made them make this mistake that they did. And ultimately what happened was, when they made tawbah, they met Yusuf alayhi salam again, they also partook of the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed Yusuf alayhi salam with. So, وَعَلَىٰ آلِ Yaqub means that ultimately when all of this is said and done and you will get this status of success, the family of Yaqub will also be benefiting from the same success that you will get in this world and in the hereafter. كما أتمها على أبويك من قبل إبراهيم وإسحاق. As he completed this blessing upon your two fathers before you, Ibrahim and Ishaq. So what happened? We know the family tree. Yaqub alayhi salam is the son of Ishaq alayhi salam. Ishaq alayhi salam is the son of Ibrahim alayhi salam. So referring to both of them as fathers basically means that your father and your great-grandfathers, your great-grandfather and your great-grandfather, basically both of them are your fathers. They were also given this blessing of prophethood, just like you will be given the blessing. So again, this is something that is going through generation after generation. We mentioned last week a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ when he was asked, who is Akramun Nas? And he said, Yusuf alayhi salam is Akramun Nas, the most noble of people, who's the son of a prophet, who's the son of a prophet, who's the son of a prophet. Yousuf, the son of Yaqub, the son of Ishaq, the son of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, all of them prophets. So there's nobody who's had that kind of a family tree before or after that. So Yaqub is telling Yousuf that the same way that your forefathers, Ibrahim and Ishaq, got this blessing of prophethood, you will also get this prophethood. Min qablu Ibrahima wa Ishaq, they were Ibrahim and Ishaq. Inna rabbaka alimun hakim. Indeed, your Lord is alim, he is all-knowing. Hakim, he is all-wise. The question is that why Yaqub is telling Yousuf that your Lord is all-knowing and all-wise. Doesn't Yousuf alayhi salam already know that? No, he already does know that, but the reason that he is doing it is just an affirmation or a confirmation, not for ta'aleem, not for teaching purposes, rather affirming what he already knows. Like, a child that tells his son all the time or his daughter all the time, I love you so much. Of course, the child knows that the parents love him or her so much, but constantly affirming that, constantly confirming that. So Ibrahim is telling Yusuf alayhi salam, Inna rabbaka alimun hakim. Indeed, your Lord is all-knowing and all-wise. The next ayah, the story actually starts about how events took place with Yusuf alayhi salam. And in this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَقَدْ كَانَ فِي يُوسُفَ وَإِخْوَتِهِ آيَاتٌ لِلسَّائِلِينَ. Indeed, in Yusuf alayhi salam, meaning in the story of Yusuf alayhi salam and his brothers, are signs for the people that question. Okay, so there's a lot of interpretation that is required here. First of all, fi Yousuf. The word is in Yousuf. What it means is in the story of Yousuf, not in Yousuf himself, but fi qissat Yousuf, in the story of Yousuf and his brothers. There are ayat, there are signs for the people that question. What is an ayah? The scholars of Tafseer, they say that the Quran describes ayah in three ways. There are the three types of ayah that are mentioned in the Quran. One of them is the ayah or the sign of the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we can understand from pondering into His creation. The fact that the sun rises on time, sets on time, the different stages of the moon, the fact that we have the different seasons, we have the plants growing right in front of our eyes, we see dead plant vegetation and plants in winter time, and suddenly spring comes, everything becomes lush and green. So these are one form of ayah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? So this is one interpretation of ayah. The second interpretation are the things that happen with what is known as in Arabic khariqul lil aada, which means contrary to the habit and contrary to public and the human perception. Okay, so a miracle happens. The fact that Maryam, she had a child without having a husband, without having any type of intimacy, while she was a virgin, she was blessed with Isa alayhi salam. This is an ayah. This is a miracle. It is contrary to the normal routine and the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He does these things so that He is showing His power to us in an even more marvelous way than the first example of ayat that we mentioned. Everything is marvelous, but the fact that we see those things in number one on a day-to-day basis, it doesn't seem that great. But sometimes the second type of ayah is shown to us to show His glory, to show His might, to show His power. So that's the second type of ayah. And the third type of ayah are ayat, verses in the Quran. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying about Yusuf alayhi salam, لَقَدْ كَانَ فِي يُوسُفَ وَإِخْوَتِهِ ayat, basically He is saying that in every stage of the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, there is a lesson for us to be learned. There is a lesson for us to be learned. In everything, the qudra of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was being demonstrated. How at each step of the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, he was protected and he was taken in a certain direction, even though it seemed at certain stages that he's going through such a hard time. He's spending time in prison for years upon end, and he's going through so many difficulties, but each and every stage was planned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it was the qudra of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that took him through those stages and ultimately gave him the position that he got. So here, ayat refers to the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through all of the story of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. And here, لِلسَّائِلِينَ, for the people that question. What does the people that question mean? In the poetry of old, the Arabic poetry, the people that question basically referred to, when people talk about you, when people talk about a certain individual, when people like to discuss a certain person, okay, celebrity you can say, that means that that person is interesting. That person is, people want to know about him. So لِلسَّائِلِينَ, it refers to, again, referring back to the poetry of old, people that questioned were usually questioning and asking about the celebrities, the warriors, the famous people, the people that were chieftains. So when people used to make poetry about themselves, they used to always throw in that people are questioning about me, they are asking about me, they're talking about me. So لِلسَّائِلِينَ, it refers to people asking, means that the story of Yusuf alayhi salam is so interesting that people are asking about it and they want to know about it. The second opinion about this word sa'il, it refers to the Jews that wanted to test the prophethood of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they used to again and again ask him various questions. The whole revelation of Surah Al-Kahf was based upon questions that were given to the kuffar of Quraysh, that then asked the Prophet ﷺ 3 questions, and those 3 questions were answered in Surah Al-Kahf. So Lisa'ilin, according to some Mufassirin, refers to the questioning Jews that wanted to test how much the Prophet ﷺ knew about what was mentioned in their scriptures. So people that question is referring to those Jews. And the third opinion is that Sa'ilin refers to the kuffar of Quraysh that simply wanted to give the Prophet ﷺ a hard time and wanted to just question him, question his authenticity, whether he was a prophet or not. So they just used to ask him random questions. So in response to those questions, this surah was revealed. So this is the third opinion of what Sa'il is referring to. And also, going back to the word ayah again. Ayat, as I mentioned, was miracles. So the fact is, we mentioned this before already, the Prophet ﷺ, he did not know how to read or write. And yet, he brought the stories that were found in the previous scriptures right down to such accuracy that it was unimaginable that a person who could not read or write Arabic, let alone the Hebrew scriptures or Aramaic or the different languages in which the previous scriptures had been written, how could it be that he brought these things? So that was a miracle by itself. And that's why here at the end of the surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses the Prophet ﷺ and says, تِلْكَ مِنْ أَنْبَاءِ الْغَيْبِ نُوحِيهَا إِلَيْكَ. These were the stories of ghaib that we revealed to you. وَمَا كُنْتَ لَدَيْهِمْ إِذْ أَجْمَعُوا أَمْرَهُمْ وَهُمْ يَمْكُرُونَ. You are not with them, O Prophet of Allah, when they unanimously decided to do what they did, meaning the brothers, while they were plotting against Yousuf alayhi salam. You are not with them. So how did you know? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told you, O Prophet of Allah. So ayah and ayat again and again, each and every ayah that has been revealed about the story of Yousuf alayhi salam is a miracle in itself, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us without any type of mistake, without any type of contradiction. The whole story is mentioned just like it was mentioned in the previous scriptures. So this is inshallah where we stop, and we will continue next week. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us tawfiq to understand and practice what has been said and heard.